Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Modern Warfare 3. As we're getting ready to close out December here, we're still waiting on that entire skill-based matchmaking discussion from Activision, but we're also waiting for the new year of COD, right? Going into 2024, we're going to be sitting there having the full rest of the seasons for Modern Warfare 3, then we're going to get ourselves ready for Black Ops Gulf War, and I'm wondering if the same thing is going to happen this year that seems to happen every year for me personally. Now, this may not be something that is just a me thing, it may also be a you guys thing. Let me know down there in the comments, but I found this yesterday. It just kind of blew my mind. Like, it's something I noticed about myself. I've kind of noticed it about the COD community as well, but now we actually have like a chart for it, and I really wanted to take a look at that and really discuss it and everything else. So let's just go ahead and talk about it. Every year when a new COD comes out, there's always what we call the honeymoon phase, right? Right here with Modern Warfare 3 all throughout November, and now a bit here into December, we've had the honeymoon phase where the game is new, you're leveling up again, you're trying out the new guns, trying to get the new attachments, unlocking the operators, playing the campaign, zombies, multiplayer, all that stuff, right? When the game is new, people tend to play a whole lot more, but then after that honeymoon phase is over, that's when the true game starts to really show itself, and that's when the true player count also starts to really show itself. Well, one thing I've noticed over the course of the past couple years is I usually play a bunch during that honeymoon phase, and then come January, come February, I kind of just really stop playing because the honeymoon phase is over. I typically have the mastery camo by now, which I have right here, which is why I'm using it here in this gameplay, and then throughout the first couple months of the year, I just really feel like there's nothing new to play for. Like, I've played on all the maps, I've played with all the guns, I've mastered all the guns, you know, and I'm just kind of waiting for more. I'm waiting for more content, more updates, and maybe I'm just burnt out on the game. I'm not entirely sure, but I do notice that every single year. Well, every single platform out there right now is doing like a year in review, right? Spotify, Twitch, I think YouTube might even have one. And yesterday I noticed Steam has one as well. And I clicked on it and it actually had some very interesting graphs in there about all my different playtime and my play sessions across different games. And Call of Duty, not surprisingly, was #1 for me. But let's just go ahead and look at the playtime here, man. Like, Call of Duty has remained a cultural phenomenon because of dedicated players like you. But dude, check it out. January and February of this year, I didn't play really whatsoever. I'm not sure what happened in March. What even would have been in March? Like Season 3? I'm not entirely sure. It looks like I came back to Modern Warfare 2 there for a little bit, and then in April I wasn't playing as much, May I wasn't playing as much, and then come summer with June and July I was barely playing whatsoever once again. And then once we started getting the teasers for Modern Warfare 3 and they started talking about the carry forward feature and how everything was going to matter, I went back to Modern Warfare 2. I started playing more in August, September, and October, and then of course November was the launch of Modern Warfare 3, and then now December, of course, the month that we're in. That's interesting to me, right? This is just my own anecdotal evidence. Everyone's playtime, everyone's experience is going to be a little bit different, but how many of you have the same thing happen where whenever the new game comes out, you play a ton of it during the first couple of months, but then after those couple months, after that honeymoon phase, you just really stop playing because it seems like the developers aren't really adding updates quick enough. You're just kind of getting burnout on skill-based matchmaking. You just don't really have as much to grind for. Like, this has to happen to a lot of other people out there as well. It can't only be me, and that is something I think they really need to work on in the Call of Duty scene. I'm thinking of Sledgehammer Games, in fact. Remember back during Call of Duty Vanguard, they launched the game, they fixed a couple of things about the game, but then they went on like a 1-2 month long vacation where there were really no updates to the game whatsoever. They tend to do that, and I get it because they spend all this time, you know, getting the game out, trying to polish it, doing updates after launch and things like that, but eventually they have to take a break. They've been on crunch for so long. That is basically the entire mantra over there at Activision Blizzard. All their employees are basically just worked to death. So eventually when they go on their vacations and stuff, it's well deserved, but when they do that during the first couple months of the game being out, I think they're shooting themselves in the foot because it kind of just kills all the momentum that they worked so hard for while they were developing the game, while they were promoting the game, and while they were updating the game post-launch, right? It just kind of kills all that momentum, and I've noticed this almost every single year, and I'm sure you guys have noticed if you've been a long-time viewer here in the channel. I'm sure you've noticed that especially come like towards the end of December, beginning of January, beginning of February, and things like that, like the uploads on my channel, and I'm sure many other people's channels as well, they tend to really slow down just because the game itself isn't as fun anymore. It's not as fresh anymore, and I feel like that's up to the developers to try to add more fun things to the game to get people interested, to make them want to keep playing. And I will say so far we're off to a good start here with Modern Warfare 3. I think all the random events that we've had where we can earn animated camos, I think that stuff is pretty good. I think looking forward to Season 1 Reloaded, that is going to be pretty cool as well. You guys may remember they're going to have that ray gun free-for-all game mode where we're going to be playing on these remixed maps. I wish I could just show you the pictures of the maps. I mean, I guess I can show you some of them that were in the official marketing, but they've been leaked already. Like, they look really freaking cool. Like, I think it's Quarry, Scrapyard, and I think High Rise might be the other one. They completely remixed them to make them look completely different and all crazy, and it's a whole different vibe that you get from those maps. And I think that's cool. They're doing a number of things like that so far here with Modern Warfare 3, so I have a feeling they're going to be trying to mitigate people leaving once the new year comes, but it may not be enough. It may be something where people just get burnt out after the honeymoon phase, and it may just be sort of an inevitability when it comes to an annual game like Call of Duty. I mean, that's entirely possible as well, but I feel like as COD developers and as like the publisher Activision and now Microsoft, because Microsoft will be completely taking over, I feel like that's something they should really try to address going forward with the Call of Duty franchise. You know, it seems like they put all this time and effort into the launch of the game, and then like season 1, maybe season 2, not as much stuff really ends up happening. People end up leaving, and then they start adding some more wacky and fun stuff towards like season 3 and season 4. Usually by season 6, like the game's starting to get pretty crazy. I don't know. I feel like their entire time frame is a little bit off. I feel like season 1 needs to be like the super crazy season as compared to just adding a couple of updates. And again, they're doing that so far here with Modern Warfare 3. Like looking at the Modern Warfare 3 roadmap for season 1 right here, comparing that to the Modern Warfare 2 roadmap, night and day different. You know, Modern Warfare 3 has a lot more to it, and with season 1 reloaded, we're gonna be getting a couple of new guns and the remixed maps and the new game modes, and like it does seem like they're trying harder this year. But it just, again, it blew my mind when I opened up Steam and it's like, oh, you have a notification. I'm like, what is my notification? And it was my Steam year in review. I saw all my playtime on COD throughout the last year because I do play only on my PC, you know, and wow, that blew my mind. Like, I know, like in my heart, like I don't play as much during January and February, you know, but I didn't think it was that bad. I barely even touched the game last year, so that is something I'm going to try to avoid, not only because like I think Modern Warfare 3 is doing a better job this time around, but also like I want to keep up with the YouTube channel. I want to make more content. I want to make things entertain you guys, you know, so I'm going to do my best to like not let that happen again this year. But I'm just wondering, how many of you out there fall into that same pattern? How many of you out there are in the same routine as me, where you grind and you grind and you grind and you play a whole bunch during the honeymoon phase, but then after that honeymoon phase, you kind of like, you burnt yourself out a bit and then you don't really want to play as much, and then you're kind of just always coming back to COD, but you're never as into it as you were when the game first came out, and just like, it's a vicious cycle, I think. And I'm sure because they study everything. I mean, they have skill-based matchmaking is a straight up algorithm that like detects us down to how much we move and how often we sprint and our score per minute, and like they detect everything with that. If you guys have seen some of the patents that they've put out there, you know, they're so sophisticated when it comes to that. So I have to imagine they're also very sophisticated, and they very much understand player trends and player count numbers across the board throughout the different year and throughout different seasons. So I think this is probably something that happens to a lot of people out there, and it seems like they're trying to mitigate it this year. But the question is, how well are they going to be able to do that, and will it actually be successful for them as we go into 2024? I suppose we're going to have to wait and see. But ladies and gentlemen, I thought that was really interesting, so I wanted to make a quick video on it here today. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave your thoughts and feedback down there in the comments. Do you guys fall into the same trap as I do every single year? And if so, what do you think they could do better to make you not fall into that trap every single year? I mean, obviously skill-based matchmaking is going to be like the top response, but like what else on top of that do you think they could do? Let me know about that down there in the comments. Thank you all so much for listening, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.